Welcome, and my apologies for the humongous delay in making Game Jam Part 3. I have no excuses. Well, I do have excuses. I'm looking for jobs, looking for work, and I really wanted this animation thing to work, and I've looked around and I've struggled. I'm calling out to the world to see if we can work out what's going on, see if we can fix this stuff. For now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on a slightly different approach, which is to get the button at least working to do something. It may not have any animation on it when we do these things. So if I just do that, I'm going to turn my speakers off in case I get any nasty feedback. I did change the mouse, you'll notice. I found a little transparent PNG file, went in a treat. Let's just click on that, click on console, make sure that we're back in. Oh, hello. Make sure that's working. I'm pretty sure that is working. Let's double check that it is by going into our scripts, and we've got crosshair, is it? Yeah, here we go. So Control S, there we go, and we'll just spin back into here. Stay in console mode, please. Thank you. Uh-oh. What's wrong with that? Oh, whatever. We don't even want that. That wasn't even the line I wanted. It was that line. We'll just say button press or something. Yeah. All compiler errors have to be fixed. All compilers have to be fixed. I have fixed all the errors. Let's clear that right now. Let's try it. Oh dear. I hope you can see me okay, and I hope it's not getting in the way too much. Please give me some feedback. Actually, thinking about it, I might just move myself over to somewhere nearer the middle. Sorry. Whoing! There we go. How about that? How about there? That's better, isn't it? You can see what I'm doing now, rather than looking at my ugly mug. Right. Pop over here. Press Shift to go a bit quicker. Press that. There we go, button press, and it's quite good because it has to have a certain distance as well. It's just I like this. I like the way this is working, this little ray thing here. Now, what I thought I might do is the following: is have these walls have some form of implement an interface, and that interface will be something like a trigger or something like that, triggerable or actionable or something like that. And then this button can have an array of actionable items, and it will fire those off when it needs to. So let's do this. What we'll do now is, if we go to messy brick wall, what we'll do is we'll create a new C# script, and we'll create, this isn't going to be interface, so I might just give it an I name. So we'll call it I. Think about this. It's an actionable wall, isn't it? So it's an I trigger. Let's just call it I trigger. It's not the greatest name in the world, I know. And it's public interface. Is that how you say it? I trigger. It does not do anything with mono behavior and does not need these methods here. Alright. And we're going to have a public void, and it's going to be called trigger fired. Trigger fired. Public void trigger fired. Control S. We don't need these, by the way. I don't think. Okay, what's wrong with that? The modifier public is not valid for this item, so I'll just say void. Trigger fired. Okay. Right, spin back into Unity, see if it throws any errors. It's very happy with it. Alright, now what we can do now is we can add a trigger. We can have a class to this wall that actually does something. So you'll bear with me on this. What we'll do now is this wall will implement that trigger. In fact, they both will. Both the walls will implement it, and we'll just have something along the lines of moving it up along the y-axis a certain amount, something like that. Right? Okay, so let's do that now. Let's have a create a new C# script. We'll call it wall trigger. Yep. And let's just double click that to go into it. Okay. And how do I say this? Is it implements? Bear with me, people, whilst I bring up Chrome. I come from a Java background, you see, so C# implement interface. So I have to quickly look these things up. That's the thing about a game jam. You learn on the go. Okay, come on. Interface, yeah. Come on. Implementation. Yeah, that's how it... Public class car runs iEquitable. Maybe you just do this. Yes, I think what it might actually be is... You don't have to put that, you just put... comma, iTrigger. There we go. It should complain. If it doesn't complain in here, and I'm hoping it will certainly complain in here saying does not implement the trigger fired. So we now need to have a value in here called something like public float. I'm just making this one up by the way. Height jump, height move equals 5f, and then public void, what was it? Trigger fired, and we'll say transform dot oh god, I forgot what it is now. Transform dot rotate, transform dot position plus equals new vector 3, something like this, new vector 3. So it's just on the y, 0 comma height move comma 0. Is that going to be kind to me? I think that's right. There we go. So what I've done here is I've said the trigger fired, when it does that, it's going to move this wall up by that amount. So let's attach this trigger, let's attach this class rather, which implements that trigger over to the wall. If we go over to here, I forget which one's which. Let's just move it and see. Yeah, that's that one, so let's just Control Z that. So we'll add it to messy brick wall. Let's just do that one for now. Okay, and 5 is fine. I'm just going to the rotate script is interestingly that's got a an enableable on it. This one hasn't. Interesting. Is that a bug or is that me just being stupid? Okay, another one for another time. No errors. Let's just see if it still runs without any problems. Yes, it does. Okay, it's not going to do anything yet though. So what we need to do now is we need to have on our button here another script. Our button press. Actually, button press is already there. So let's just spin back to button press here. Okay, this is so we're gonna. Yeah, I'll just comment this out for now. And it's going to have, it's not the button presses, it's the crosshair that does this, isn't it? This is it here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so if it's clicked, excuse me. So this is crosshair that is going to have a, now hang on, let me think this through. Yeah, it's the crosshair that is going to have the button. The button is going to have an array of triggers. Yes, it is. Okay, button press. I am tempted to create a new class. It's going to be slightly confusing. It's going to be called button. Come on, Rich, think this through. It's the button that's being pressed, so we can, from that we can get what you can't have, you see, is just an array of values. So we can have a trigger. Is trigger or something like that. So let me just sorry guys, I'm going to have a new script, C# script, and it's going to be called the reason I don't want to call it, I'm going to call it button trigger for now. And we're just going to go into that, and this, all this button trigger is going to contain is a public of type iTrigger triggers. Okay, so you can have more than one on this. I think it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to. Let's just see. Let's just see. I think that's still fine there. Is it going to complain that it doesn't know what iTrigger is? No, it doesn't. Right. So now what we can do. Okay, where's that button trigger? So if we go over to our button X, we can drag the button trigger to it. Does it? Okay, so that's fine. So that's my bad. Can I just do Control Z? Yes, I can. Alright, that's fine. So we'll do that. Shift Control S, and then pop the button trigger on the button. I'm going to disable. I'm not happy about this. I'm not sure why this isn't showing a enabled button. Or maybe I'm doing something stupid. Am I still live? Yes, I am still live. Doesn't look like I've dropped off. I've dropped a few frames here and there. There it is. Sorry about that. Sometimes it gets a bit upset. How do I look as well? I look great. Zoom, you gotta love that effect, right? Yeah. So now this button has a trigger on it, right? And then what we're going to say under our crosshair script, get clicked item. I'm gonna actually completely so this bit here I'm going to completely move away. I don't really want to move it away because I'm going to forget how it works. Private void, and we'll call this potential animator logic. I've just learned my lesson from deleting stuff, you know, when you delete things and it okay, so what we're saying here is if it's found anything, then now we're going to say button trigger BT equals, see this is the sort of thing we go, you see, hit dot game object, hit dot collider dot game object dot get component button trigger. And then if brackets BT is not equal to null, what is it? I think it's, should we just say triggers, iTrigger. Oh, what's this one? Oh yeah, we know what that one is. So where's our, let's get rid of rotate. Where's our fella gone? Button trigger, button trigger, button trigger, there it is. No! Crosshair, I'm so sorry. Button trigger is not equal to null, then we say BT dot sorry guys. BT dot triggers. There we go. So for brackets int I equals 0 semicolon I is less than triggers BT dot triggers is length that's just right, semicolon I plus plus. Nearly there guys. And then we'll say BT I dot no. So BT dot triggers I dot trigger fired. I thank you. Now what we said is if this hits a button trigger object, then get that button trigger object, store it in BT. If it's found one, then get the triggers that are stored in it and fire the triggers fired. Okay, trigger fired. So it could run that multiple times. This is in an array. That button could fire off more than one thing. Let's just shift Control S and just pop back into Unity, see if there's any errors. I'd be amazed if there wasn't. There isn't, which probably means I've made a mistake later on. Right, now what we can do is if we go to our button, there should have been, I thought, I'd attached it already, but where's my button? There's my button here. Button trigger. Let's spin back to button trigger. I trigger, Shift Control S. Why isn't it showing? I'm going to delete this. I'm going to remove these components here, remove that, and remove that. And I'm going to add it again. Button trigger. I'm in the right place on my button X, yes. It's public. What am I missing? Why isn't that showing? Why isn't it showing? Why isn't it showing the arrays? Do I need to move it up? The other one was okay. The missing that's happy to have its height movers. Maybe it's just not happy because it's not a valid. It's not a valid Unity class. But iTrigger is here. Maybe because iTrigger. I know what it is. So I've got to. I think I've probably got to make this. Let's just see if it's happy with me doing something like this. Where was it? iTrigger. Let's do that. See if it's happier. Let's just see if it likes that. No. Oh, maybe. No. What was happening? iTrigger. Void iTrigger. Trigger fired. So hang on. Unity get interface variable in inspector. Yeah, there we go. This is why I loved it. Oh god, it's 2011. Let's just see if it's still good. It's possible to manually enable this function custom inspector each time as my. Oh my god, really? Oh, that's depressing. That's a bit better. Yeah. You have two options that I know of. Do as iUnified and have a generic mono behavior class. Have a collection that is visible. I don't understand. Public interface, my interface, yeah. Right. Okay. Serializable, is that what you have to say? Oh, I don't want 2010. Let's try that. 2015. Maybe it's got to be system.serializable. Let's try that. Colon iSelectable. Now here we go. Gosh, sorry guys, this isn't great, is it? I know this isn't the best. Let me just say colon ice. No, that didn't work. Let's try. I thought I put this. I thought I put the. Let's do that again. Control C. Control S, and then I'll spin back to Unity. I don't know if that's going to be happy. Oh, what a pain! Because that would have worked for me then. Okay. So what we'll have to do on our script. Where are we? This one here. Button trigger. Okay, button trigger here is going to have a method called public iTrigger get triggers. Capitals, doesn't it? Get triggers. And then that will say return triggers. Alright, sorry, I might have made a big deal of that. So we'll just do that there. Alright, and now what we can just do back... Oh, I keep doing that. What we can now do in our crosshair is say button trigger. If PT is not equal to null, then we'll say trigger, iTrigger, triggers equals bt dot get triggers. Oh no, not button trigger. bt. Stop it. What am I missing? Oh, no, hang on. That's not the right place, is it? There we go. That's why. If you get it wrong in the start, right now we can say triggers.length. I know I've called it the same name, which can be a bit confusing. Alright. Sorry guys, that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to say the triggers is get the triggers within that button trigger and then fire off a trigger for each one. I hope that makes sense. We've got this button trigger here, okay, which we can attach to our button, and we're going to attach a bunch of triggers to it, i.e. our wall, which implements iTrigger. Okay, and we can have as many as we like of them. And the reason for that is I want the button to potentially be able to run more than one firing trigger. Right. So now if we go over to our we need something to do something else, don't we? How do I drag the button from the wall over to the... Unless it's going to be kind now, which I don't think it is. What's that? Why? Yeah, button trigger. No, not button trigger, button X. I'm really curious about why this isn't showing a... button trigger is the... yeah, there it all is. Maybe I have to have a void, a start, and a... maybe that's what it is. Let's just see if adding void start makes the makes it happen. Hang on. So I'm getting slightly off track because I'm as bad enough as it is. Let's just reset the component. There we go. There, and it comes back in. Okay, so it does have to. If it has a start method, it will have an enabled checkbox. I did not know that. There we go. I've learned something new today. All right. We're getting close. Getting close. How am I looking on the screen? I look great-ish. Yeah, my voice seems to be in line with the microphone, which is a problem I had last time. I hope that's working for you now. Yeah, sorry guys. I've got a viewer. Hello viewer, how are you? I'm going to quickly, now that I've got a viewer, I will spin up my YouTube chat just to make sure that there's no comments. Particularly if you're able to help me. Let's make sure I've got everything switched off on the thing, and then we'll just... There you go. So if I just quickly spin over to here, pop out chat, then I can close you down again now. It's this one. There. Curious. There we go. Game Jam. Why have I called it session 2, you idiot? It should be session 3. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. Make a ping sound. Was that me? Right. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. I think that's working. If we just say hello, hopefully you'll be able to see me. I've got pop-out chat working. Alright. Alrighty. Say hello if you're watching. I'll be looking out for you in a short while. I need now to be able to drag that wall into that trigger on the button. How do I do that? I was hoping that would be a nice sweet option. I think what I'm going to do, and this is again a bit of a hack, but under my button trigger here, I'm going to do something like public game objects, trigger objects. Okay. Right. Now I think what I can do, this is not what I wanted to do at all. Yeah, trigger objects is there. It's happy to do that one. Alright. What I wanted to do now, and what I'll do in here, is say something along the lines of for brackets int I equals 0. So I is less than trigger objects. Trigger objects dot length I plus plus, and then we'll say I trigger it I trig equals trigger objects. I hate this. Trigger objects I dot get component I trigger. Okay, and then we'll say what we'll do as well then is we'll say here triggers equals new I trigger trigger objects dot length. It means you could drag something that isn't a I trigger in there, but there we go. Okay, and then we'll say if brackets I trig is not equal to null. That's even worse. I hate this. We're just going to add it. We're just going to, for now, you cannot get this wrong. We're just going to say triggers I equals I trig. What that's going to do is it's going to assign all of the triggers here like that. So now we can drag those things in, but they have to implement the iTrigger interface. If they don't, we're going to get null pointer exceptions. This is making sense. Why is it in blue? So now what we can do is we can get our wall here, which does have a wall trigger, okay, with a height move. Let's just remove rotate as well. We're going to drag that. If we just grab here and just very quickly lock that by clicking up there, and now we can get the messy brick wall, which does have a button trigger on it, and we can just drag that down into the array here. What we've said now is that this guy here has a button trigger on it, and that means that when our crosshair runs, it will look at this button to see if it's got any trigger objects. If it has, then it will fire the trigger fired on each one. That has to be the most horrible solution I've actually done so far. It's not throwing an error yet. If this works, it'll be a bloody miracle first time. Let's just get over there. And I'm expecting that wall to maybe move up. It's gone up. Holy moly, did you see that? And do it again, it keeps going up. So we can keep moving it. That might not be the desired effect, but the point being that the trigger system has worked. Let me spend 2 minutes. Let's just see if we can find out how to add the interface to the actual interface to the inspector. So while I'm doing that, just checking you out, see if anyone's actually there. There's somebody watching this. Oh, was it me? It's always a pain when it's me. I've got 2 viewers. Hello viewers. Hello viewers. Can you hear me? Hopefully you can. Please comment if you can, because I'm watching your comments there. If either of you know how to get the interfaces into the inspector easily, then please talk to me, because I'm keen to do it. I'm going to keep trying. A Unity interface in inspector. Exposing. I really want to. Let's just do something anytime past year. I know it's not always perfect, but interface. No, is that you? C# show variable herited. Let's just try it. Unity interface. Yeah, all these ones are good. Let's just have a quick peek at these, see if anything's obvious. Interface, yeah. I'm not showing you these. My variable health point. Yeah. And is indestructible. Okay. Okay, that's not great. Let's try this one. There we go. Let's try that. Let's try it. Let's try this. Okay, under the eye trigger, let's just pop that there. It's gone red. I don't know if that's good or bad. Serializable could not be found. Brilliant. So you're lying. Let's just have a quick interface. Okay. Okay. Can I add it to an attribute? Use this to attempt to display any private field with a serialized field. Where have you gone? I keep doing that, don't I? Okay, so get rid of you. No, it's not a field, is it? It is an interface. No. Hang on, we'll do that again. System.serializable. Is it happy? Okay. So that's not going to work. Yes, he's happy with the interface helper. If you have an interface helper, do we really want to go down that road though? What a mess. Okay, I'm not getting much success here. I'm going to go a couple more tries. If anyone knows, I'll tell you what, if any of you guys are seeing anything, maybe you are commenting and I'm just being stupid. Let me just close that down. Primary stream will not receive data for fast enough rate. What? Oh, let's have a quick peek. Okay, you seem to be working okay. I've dropped a few frames. What are you talking about? 1080p stream. You seem happy enough. Hope that's working. That's also wrong. Getting a few errors. The health is good. There we go. I don't think this is possible, which sucks. However, it does mean that we can also get Messy Brick Wall 1. Get to the wall trigger, just to grab it in there. I'm guessing that'll say 5 as well. So now, when we click it, did I click it? Uh-oh. I did. Shift Control S. Let's just clear that. Press play. Now if we go over there. Da 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 da. You didn't move up. No errors though. And I thought... I know why. Because my button needs to have both walls on there. So let's just clear that out. So we just set it to 0. I definitely said 0. Did I not? 0. Stick it. Right, and now what we can do is just lock that. You see, this is the sort of thing. If these don't implement that trigger, put that in there. Okay. And now press play. Get over there fast. And press that. Doink. They both go up. And the idea of the game would be that we then race on through to the next level. Now, this is obviously a very simple one. And what I was thinking about, and also obviously this is perhaps something we should say, can't keep doing that because that's just hilarious. We could probably change that rule. Let's just change the trigger fired on wall trigger. Wall trigger, where are you? Scripts, wall trigger, there you go. So rather than say height move, we'll say, we'll call it height. Trigger fired height. Trigger fired height equals 5f. So we're not going to say plus equals, we're just going to say equals new vector 3 transform dot position dot x and transform dot position dot z. Actually, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to have a public void start, and I'll say private vector3 new height, and then I'll say new height equals transform dot position plus new vector3. This is what I'm going to do. Brackets 0, trigger fired height, 0. Alright, and then we'll just say when trigger's fired, it's going to be new height. Equals new height. Right, so what we said here is we'll just set a value at the very, very start, and then if you keep clicking, it doesn't matter, it's always going to set it to the same position. Alright, because we've set new height at the outset. Hoping that'll work. Did I change anything here? Is it going to get funny with me? I don't think it is. Let's see if it works. I know, that doesn't usually like. Okay, now if I click it, can you see it's not changing the value? And that makes sense because it's just setting it to one value that we've predefined. We could also call that a final, couldn't we? But I won't for now. And then we can zoom on into our next level. Alright. Gosh, I made a meal of that, didn't I? I've lost my chat window. Let's get that up again. Same session 2. So where's the window on here then, mister? Huh? Oh, for all I know, I could be receiving all sorts of comments. Maybe I'm not, maybe I am, I don't know. If I am, my apologies. I will get to them, I promise, afterwards. Probably you're screaming at me. It's Rich! Rich! It's so easy, you get the interfaces on the inspector like this. But I've had to hack it somewhat. Okay, but... Oh, by the way, that's another thing I need to fix, isn't it? Let's just fix the height of those walls. Go to the scene view. Because we need those walls to be higher. Excuse me, what's going on here? What am I doing? There we go. There we go. So, if I just set... where's the height? I'm losing my mind. Oh, so I'm locked in on it. Don't you hate that? This is why I hate that lock button. You forget that you're pressing it. So we're going to do Y as 4. And you, Y as 4. And probably move you up a touch. Where's my thingy there? Let's just pop you like that. Now if I press play. Hopefully I can't jump you. Oh, it's close, but not quite. Like, you can even see over like a tempting thing. Like, oh, how do I get over? How do I get over? Ooh, what's this blue button? Ooh, what's this blue button here? Click it. Bang, up it goes. And away you go. Through to the next level. And I'm thinking that we just keep it going. It doesn't. We keep exactly the same sort of design, which is no design at all. But we'll if it'll just be one long puzzle corridor, perhaps going around in a big circle. Another thing I was thinking was that this is obviously very straightforward, but I'd like a little image above here. Can I show you just on something like a? If I just bring up, I don't know, let's bring up MS Paint. Anyone else get this problem? MS Paint, there we go. I clicked it, didn't I? So it would have, if you like, a little sign above it here, and let's say it had three. Let's say it had three walls. It would have something like that, then a little dot like that. Right, and what that's saying is that it would move the one of them. It would not move the next one, but it would move the third one. So if we actually take this a little step further and go over to here, obviously at the moment it's very, very simple because it's just moving them up. But what I'd like to happen is if I clicked it, it will move them up. But if you click it again, it'll move them down. Right, so we can do this sort of stuff by saying, "Am I up? Am I down?" We can do that. We get a little bit funkier. In fact, we've got time. Let's do that now. Okay, so we'll say here. So we'll say private vector 3, private vector 3 current height as well, and we'll say current height equals transform dot position. Okay, and we're going to have a boolean private bool. I don't know. We'll just call it is up, which equals false. Okay, and then here we'll say if brackets not is up, else that's it. Transform dot position equals current height. Oh, let's just call that something. I think if you do that and press F2, you can rename it. Let's call it starting. No, let's call it start pos. Yeah, I'll call that F2. We'll call it new pos. Up pos. Up pos. Oh, F2 up pos. There we go. So we're going to say starting position is where we are now, and up pos is this new value. So if it's already up, if it's not up, then move it to the up position. Otherwise, move it back down again. I think that's right, and you'll see what I'm talking about now. If I just press play, I'm tempted to maximise on play. Let's do that just to make it obvious. And we wander on over. And click that, and up it goes. And if we click it again, it didn't work. You swines. Okay, is it throwing an error? If it is, I didn't see it. Let's just do that again. Hang on. One of the problems it might be having. Okay. Drat. I'm wondering if this is a reference. I'm just going to say new vector 3. I'm not saying this is it. So transform position dot x comma transform dot y comma transform. If this works, I'll explain what's gone wrong. Oh, hold on, and then we'll say is up equals true. That's more than likely what it is. Is up equals false. Okay, and that's what's going on. Start pos. Let's just do that. Sorry. Again, you probably saw that, didn't you? Start pos equals transform position. Yes. Okay. Maximise on play. Come on. Hey. When you first come back in, when you bounce around in Unity. I've noticed that isn't long enough. There we go. Look at the graphics. Okay, up. No, it's not moving. Oh, hang on. There we go. It wasn't close enough. There. This is what I'm talking about. Up, down, like that. All right. And we can get really funky now. We can start to really build this out. Now, so obviously if it's down, you can't get through. Stuck. If you're down, away you go. That's good. We're making some good progress here, albeit the animation didn't work as I'd hoped, which really, really, really annoys me. Plus the fact that I think I can get round. Can I get round there? Okay, let's just spin over here. Should fix this. Should fix this, even though it's not really a problem. Because we're not really... Yeah, so I can get around the side. Yeah, what sort of game is that? What sort of idiot writes a game like that? Don't answer that question. Okay, back to scene view. Desperately trying to see if I can... I love the way it keeps telling me my stream is not perfect. And sure enough, I have lost a whole load more frames. It's frustrating. I'm sorry. What's weird is I have a super fast connection and yet I can never seem to get the right values, and also I'm a bit sparkly. I don't know. What do you do? What do you do? Huh? Let's quickly fix that and then we'll call this a done day. And I'm going to continue. Can I have interest? Can I maximise? There we go, right. That's not really what I was after, is it? But okay. Let's just get rid of scene and take off maximise. Probably the best way to do it is to go top view. Just kind of position it roughly in the centre. In fact, if I do that and then put that on, there we go. Now I can see it in ISO mode, and then obviously I'm going to make that 80. Now I'm hoping that nothing gets through anywhere. Something like that. Let's have a little look. Well, what's I'm hoping? It's not going to get through, is it? You can see it's not getting through. The gap has gone. There's still a gap there. Look, oh, it's like a tantalising gap. I can't jump it. I can look over the top, but I can't jump it. I quite like that, because if you do that, you can see. So if I was to do a picture here, I'll get nice and close, then it would show. Well, it wouldn't look like that, would it? It would look more like that, because there's only two doors, right? And it takes both of those up. With this lovely brickwork. Part of me says I should do something funky with these walls, so I'm going to. Just because I like messing around, I'm going to copy images. Have I got? No, I'm going to copy my Game Jam image. Quickly go to pictures. Game Jam 3. I'm just going to drag that. Stop it. Just going to drag that into images. And I'm going to add some materials to these because I'm that kind of crazy. I'm going to do create a new material. I've got a Game Jam material. Oh, what? That's always good to know, but that's not what I wanted to do. Create material. Game Jam material. Let's drag that in there. And then we'll start dragging it onto these objects like so. I'm tempted to say 2. Like that. And then also what I can do, because I can now see the scale is completely wrong. What am I on here? Cube 3. Let's just bring that down. So it's 9, isn't it? Same with you. You seem to be. What was it? Game Jam material. Cube 2. Again, you need to be 9. Like that. Why not? And then you. What are you? Cube 1. There. The problem with you, of course, is that, yeah. I mean, I could bring you in just for the sheer hell of it, but then it doesn't look quite right when you look at it from the top, does it? And then these guys are slightly annoying is that there's that bit there, but there we go. Let's just drag them in for the sheer hell of it. Game Jam material on you, and UQ4 Game Jam 3. Oh no. There you go. There. Now does that look much cooler or what? Game Jam. Okay, I know it looks it looks different, doesn't it? It certainly makes it look like you've made an effort rather than just plain black walls. But look at these edges here. That's just and it's upside down. That's good, isn't it? But it shows that you're making an effort. This game was definitely not designed with graphics in mind. More a case of functional capability. Guys, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop because I'm going to play around now for a while and you're just going to watch and get bored. But I'm going to bounce around and just mess around and say, woohoo, look at my latest session. Obviously, I will be pushing this online shortly and you can all have a good watch. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I look forward to your comments and thoughts. If any of you know how to get an interface into the inspector, I will sing your praises in the next Game Jam. If any of you know how to get an animation working via script, so I can just go an up and a down, I will also sing your praises in the next Game Jam, which will be tomorrow, I hope. Let's just cut this down. I bid you adieu. Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye now.